Monday, October 26th. We do have fund rates coming out on Wednesday, which I don't know if it matters that the government is still. I would figure that it would matter, since the government is still closed. Maybe fund rates wouldn't come out, but it says that it's scheduled for 2 p.m. So, yeah, I'm just gonna play around this week as if it was coming out. So, with federal funds rates, if we check the dollar on the weekly, this is kind of crazy. Previous week inside candle, and then the week before that was also an inside candle. So, it's kind of it's just getting ready for federal funds rates, honestly, right? I was thinking bullish on this day, right? Take out previous week's high. And then the stage would be the new week opening gap that we were in. So maybe like OTE, right? From Asia's lows to the highs. And OTE would probably be made somewhere in here, right? But yeah, it's just in these conditions where it's this consolidated, I just would rather not. So yeah, not going to be trading today, but I do want to go over 2 trades that I took last week that I wasn't able to record because I was getting some work done on my computer, and I took it on my phone. I did end up taking a video of one of the trades. Let me double check. I don't think I took a video of the second one, but I know I did on... Yeah, I only took a video of one, which was the winning trade, and then I took a loser right after that. So, let me go over that. Let me try and remember. Hold on. "22nd of October. Okay, so it was this day. Let me look here. 22nd of October. Bang. I want to say I was looking for shorts. Actually, what did I take on Euro? I checked the video. Yeah, so I was looking for shorts on the Euro. Which, I mean, after this daily candle closing past this inverse for value gap, I mean, obviously I was looking for shorts, right? But, let's see, 22nd. So this is actually the start of that. So stage here looks like it was the redelivered rebalance. Right there. Let me change this to for value gap. Bang. 1 hour. Let me check the video, see what my entry was. So Euro did not, but if I remember correctly, okay, yeah, so the 30-minute engulfing was weird, but if I remember correctly, I want to say, yeah, DXY did have an engulfing. I remember thinking that was weird. So yeah, it was actually a 5-minute entry. Let me, again, check the video so I can get the exact... Okay. So it looks like I entered off of the retest of this 4 hour. Stop loss at the overall high. And then my take profit was 16,280. 16,280. Which was actually this wasn't anything. I remember targeting this. Yeah, so okay, if you look at my stop loss, it was 12 ticks, right? So 16 ticks on 5 contracts is $500, and I can only do a max of 5 contracts on my 50K account, right? So I was already maxed out at 5 contracts, but since it was at 12 ticks, I was only risking like 0.75%, right? And I wanted to get 2R. I was honestly just being greedy, so that was bad of me, just like choosing for 2R. I should have, like, yes, there was this 1 hour for value gap, but I'm just gonna be honest. I was not targeting that 1 hour for value gap. I was targeting 2R. So I went for 2 3/4 R, so that I could get 2% in return, right? Yes, this drawdown had me nervous. I was watching the higher time frames though and order flow. I was like, okay, there's no reason for me to be nervous, right? Like if it's gonna stop me out, it's gonna stop me out. But order flow was being respected the entire time, right? Like even these giant wicks, if you look at this for value gap, the bodies of the candles were still respecting it, right? So it looked scary, but it was part of my plan, so I just held it, right? So yeah, that was nice. That was a good 2%, and then I believe that put me to 1% away. Let me do this real quick. Oh, there we go. Dude, why aren't they changing, like fixing this? The dude said, oh wait, end date. Oh, huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Alright, cool. So yeah, October 21st, October 22nd. So it went from boom, boom. Okay, yeah. So October 22nd, basically. Wait, what? 50. But this isn't matching my actual account balance. Right? Like my account balance is here. The dude said this might happen. I'll have to email the support team again. But anyways. Yeah, it's not actually at 49,000. So, whatever. My last trade was a loss, right? So I lost 1%, which means I was at 52,500 basically. And then I took a loss, right? So let me go over that loss, which was October 23rd, yeah, the day after. So I took this short, and then I want to say I was looking for a short again. 22nd. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was looking for a short again. And then, yeah, you can already see it on the 4 hour. Okay, so this is what happened. So, this is London. And when London opened here at this price, I saw this 4 hour for value gap. I was like, okay, that's what I want to, that's my stage, right? Because like I said, I knew I was looking for shorts. And so I was waiting for that. And a little bit after London had opened, I just looked at this. I was like, we're already in my stage. Like I've missed my stage. So this is what ended up happening was, if I can remember correctly, I remember looking at this and I was like, okay, I don't really want to do, like, I wasn't confident in this OTE, right? Which obviously the OTE did hit in the long run, so that would have been fine as well. So I kind of dropped the ball, right? I mean, I need to stick to my rules. And my rules here was obviously, I had my stage, and a few of my entries kind of happened here, right? So the first entry I missed was this 30-minute, right? 30-minute engulfed, could have entered, boom, boom, and then I literally just needed 1%, so I definitely would have taken profit after my, after definitely 1.5, right? Oh wait, no, it was only 10 ticks. So that would have been. So that would have been 3. So I probably would have had to wait till 1.5, right? 16 on 5. Yeah. Because 16 ticks on 5 contracts is 500. So I would have had to wait until 1. Literally, this tick is where my take profit would have been set for me to pass the account, right? So that was one entry. Let me see if there was a 5-minute off that. There was a 5-minute here, right, off the new 30-minute, because this candle right here is the start of the new 30-minute. So I could have entered here, and then again stop loss like so. It would have been the same thing though. It wouldn't have mattered unless I got like an entry on the retest. Then I would have hit that 16 ticks a lot earlier, right? With half the risk, but yeah, whatever. So there's that, and then so I could have had that entry, and then I think what I ended up taking. What did I end up actually taking? Can I check? I know I should probably remember this because this was my last trade, but I can't remember it. Let me check this out. Uh, 23. So I ended up going short. Entry price was 6290. At 50? Is this in my time? I feel like this is in my time. So 250 p.m. at 16,290. 250 at 16,290. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. So what ended up happening was how I saw this 4-hour inverse. I was like, okay, I missed my entry, right? And at this point, this 4-hour hadn't gotten tapped into yet, right? So I'll leave that marked up, and you can see. So the 30-minute, hold on, 30-minute had already gotten engulfed, and then 15-minute was already looking bearish, right, with the wicks. And then on the 5-minute, I was like, okay, first for value gap, boom. And I was like, all right, second for value gap. So second stage. I was looking at this entry as a second stage distribution, right? So what I ended up doing, 1690 was it? Yeah, 1690. I remember thinking like, okay, I'm not going to enter all the way down here or like at the start of this candle. I want a greedy entry, right? So I put my entry to where the stop loss was exactly 16 ticks, and then I just targeted 1-to-1, I believe it was, which never ended up getting hit, right? Because I literally just needed 1% to pass the account. So basically, with this trade, out of all of my entry methods that were shown here, I entered off of the worst one because I didn't want to be late. And I had already missed the first entry, right? And technically this also first entry. And then I didn't think that it was going to tap into this higher 4-hour for value gap that I was in like originally waiting for, right? So yeah, that's what ended up happening. Thinking about this though, here's the thing. I could have been right either way. I could have been right if I did end up just going for an OTE, right? The only problem is that I'm pretty sure I was worried that this OTE wouldn't stick because the high wasn't tapping into anything. Well, actually, I guess it kind of was, but it opened inside of this 4 hour redelivered rebalance, so it doesn't really count in my eyes. So this high didn't feel protected to me, so I was just nervous about this, and I felt like I should just do an overall OTE, which obviously never got hit. So at the end of the day, as soon as I see a stage, my first entry formed, which in this case would be the 30-minute or the 5-minute combined with the 30-minute, right? Is the right choice. The first entry after my stage gets hit is the right choice. You know what I mean? So, silly mistake, but I'm only 2% away. That's it, 2%, and I'm past, and I'm chilling. So, with that in mind, right, I'm not trading today, because like I said, previous 2 weeks have been inside candles, and that's just bad conditions. And we also have fund rates coming up, so might as well just wait until that comes out, see if government shutdown finishes up, and then just go from there after the data for the fund rates come out, which are expected to be bullish, right? They said that they were going to be cutting for a long time, so yeah, I mean, it's even forecasted here, right? Forecasted to be at 4% when it's previously at 4.25, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really planning on trading Tuesday because that's the day before fund rates, and I'm sure it's not going to look much better than this. But for today, I will be watching and just monitoring this OTE, right? At the same time, if I were trading this, let me just mark this up as if I were trading this. So, like I said, daily came from the daily for value gap. Same with the euro, and then nothing on the 4 hour, except for tapping into here. So this high should be protected. 1 hour for the stage. Okay, so this stage is both an opposing range, right? Because we have this 1 hour for value up here that got closed through. So it's both an opposing range and a displacement range, right? So it's a mixture. See, I could either OTE or enter off of the retest here, right? But at the same time, if I enter off of that, that's a huge stop loss. And I don't really know if I'd want to do that. So if I were trading this, I think what I would end up doing for an entry method would be an OTE. Not gonna lie. Because the high is protected, so I'm comfortable with that. So I'm just gonna mark this up and not trade and see how it goes.